Hey, it's Pastor Mike responding to a question I've gotten a few times in the last week or two because I suppose of the Polygamy compound, the Mormon group there in Texas. Was hosting a radio call-in show a week ago and spent a half an hour with a guy who is not a Mormon, but he was trying to argue that because polygamy is in the Bible, multiple wives, you see godly men with multiple wives, that it's right for us to do it. This is a basic hermeneutical flaw. Hermeneutics is the art and science of interpreting the Bible, or any book, actually, the rules for interpretation. And in the Bible, when you read a book like this from God that tells us a lot of things, some are a record of things that have happened, and other things are commands for us to live by. It's the difference between what we call indicative or imperative, things that happened and things that we should do. It's sometimes differentiated with the words description versus prescription, things that are described in the Bible and things that are prescribed in the Bible. Polygamy is a classic example of that. God allowed it without immediately condemning people for it, but it wasn't His intention. It wasn't His ultimate design for marriage. He created Adam and Eve, one man, one wife, and He reiterated that in the New Testament. Christ did with the examples that He gives about divorce, for instance. One man, one wife. We go back to Adam and Eve. Wasn't a polygamous relationship. And though He tolerated Abraham and David and Solomon having multiple wives, He does not command us to. Now, if the Bible commanded us to have multiple wives, then we should have multiple wives. But that's not what the Bible commands us to do. Even in the New Testament, pastors who are supposed to be examples to the flock are specifically required not to have more than one wife. They're to be husbands of one wife. So the idea is that we look carefully in the Bible of things we see and things that we're commanded, things that we see described, things that are indicative, and things that are prescribed, things that are imperative. And multiple marriages are not commanded. As a matter of fact, we can see God's design in the garden. We can see the ultimate example of what it is to be godly in the New Testament, and it's always one man, one wife. So a lot of things in the Bible we see that aren't commanded. We need to make that distinction every time we open our Bibles so we don't make the mistake of saying God wants us to do something just because it's in the pages of the Bible. We got to make sure He's telling us to do it, not just telling us about people that He allowed to do it without immediate penalty, which, by the way, usually didn't work out well. You can look at all of these examples of polygamy, and rarely do we see them doing anything other than causing a lot of heartache and trouble for the people that engage in them. So vote no on polygamy. It's not a good thing, and we shouldn't do it.